What's going on, guys? It's Kude here, and today we're gonna have kind of a controversial video. We're just gonna have a rant here. I'm gonna do as little editing as humanly possible because I just want to have a flow of thoughts. And today we're gonna talk about if Mortal Kombat Mobile is dying. What's the short answer? Well, it's yes. Mortal Kombat Mobile is dying. It is not dead, as a lot of people would like you to believe, is that the game is just dead, it's got no chance of recovering. I don't believe that to be true. We're going to play some towers in the background just so that this isn't me just looking at the lock screen of Mortal Kombat, per se. Here's what they got. But why is Mortal Kombat dying then? Mortal Kombat Mobile, at least. Well, I think Mortal Kombat Mobile's success has always depended on the success of Mortal Kombat as a franchise, the main console game. Every time MK11 was doing well, MK Mobile was doing well. And when MK1 first released, Mortal Kombat Mobile was at an all-time high when they released MK1 Scorpion. The game had a ton of content added to it all at once. People were liking the direction that the game was going. But then MK1 starts doing pretty poorly, and people are going back to MK11, right? And content kind of starts to dwindle. The game is at an all-time low, I'd say, in player base. But it's kind of sad because from a grinding perspective, the game is at an all-time high. Oh my goodness. Leave me. Why can't I get a 90%? The content is obviously not up to par. It seems like the developers only add a lot of content if there is something special going on. So with MK1's release, we had a ton of stuff added, but now that MK1 is tanking, the content is tanking, and so is Onslaught's content. Now, Onslaught had like 3 MK1s added back to back to back at its like record peak, right? And now they're just adding like classic characters, classic Katana and classic Sub-Zero, which are kind of cool, but compared to an MK1 character with a bunch of featured movesets, it's not as cool. And that's why I think no game is saved, especially Injustice 2. Injustice 2 is not saved as well. They've been having some big problems. Warner Brothers doesn't seem to be the best mobile game makers. When MKX Mobile was first released, how'd they do no damage? Oh, it's because of the shield. When MKX Mobile was first released, it was backed by the fact that MKX was going on at the time, and there was a lot of excitement for how much this mobile game could genuinely add. With MK Mobile 2.0, it just wasn't clear what direction the developers wanted to take MK Mobile in. It seemed like they were like half committing to MK Mobile. They made a huge change to the GUI, added MK11 characters, and redesigned a lot of events, game modes. Most importantly, they added towers, which is something that has stuck by in this game, and it's actually an incredibly genius idea. The only problem is there's only so many towers you can add before it gets repetitive. Bosses are the main core concept behind MK Mobile. Every single game mode that has fighting in it has a boss. Challenge mode, towers, the crypt, quest mode, and that's the issue with MK Mobile. The one game mode that doesn't have bosses that is still popular is Faction Wars. And it was also a genius idea to introduce Faction Wars. And I actually think that Faction Wars in MK Mobile is kind of cooler than the console Faction Wars, because it's just a one-on-one fight, but it doesn't really feel very personalized. Now, with Faction Wars, there is another issue we're going to get to eventually, which is the fact that you're only fighting AI. You're never going to fight an actual person, because that's not how this game works. There's too many variables that make live play in MK Mobile way too difficult to code in. But before we get to that, let's talk about bosses again. Bosses are just not unique enough. Bosses are just high health versions of the characters they've released. And that's something that I feel like doesn't make much sense to me. In MK1 and in MK11, there are special modes where you can fight specialized versions of characters. And in MKX Mobile's launch, challenges had unique modifiers that made the bosses unique. So one of the most unique bosses we ever had in MK Mobile was Cold War Sonya Blade, now renamed to Cold. Let me just get that straight. But she had specialized movesets, a drone that would attack you. Here's a good way to put it. There was a good amount of differences between the normal character, Cold Sonya Blade, and the boss, Sonya Blade. But you'll notice that after Mortal Kombat Update 2.0, they stopped doing that. There isn't a single boss we fight that has any sort of special movesets or anything interesting to them. It is just, like I said, just the same character, but with more HP and maxed epics, which you can obtain yourself. You can get maxed epics for towers and become a boss, essentially. It's just, it's not my favorite. So I'm going to ask you a question. In your favorite game that you've played, if you fought a boss, were they unique? Did they have some crazy movesets and things you had to predict and overcome that were fun and really engaging? If the answer is yes, well, it should be yes. Most games have unique bosses, and you can't play as those bosses 90% of the time in those games, especially not with the moves that they use against you. Think about, let's say, Genshin Impact. You had an entire quest to prepare for Raiden's movesets that she would use against you in her boss form. So that's what I wanted to go over a little bit in this video. Were unique bosses. We're lacking that. It's why this game gets stale and repetitive. People look forward to new towers because it's an all-new boss fight. I mean, kind of. In parentheses, new boss fight. I'm sure it's because the new character is in that team that you have to fight against, which is the only thing making it unique and special, especially the gold character and some of the gold stages for Fatal Towers. What else does MK Mobile need? Well, it's challenges. Challenges have been the main driving point for a lot of players to actually download and install MK Mobile and have a good time. Challenges in their current state are just not that interesting. If you did play MKX Mobile, okay, let's take you back all the way to MKX Mobile. The one thing I see commented a lot of why MKX Mobile was so good were the challenges. And it's funny because challenges in MKX Mobile started off with unique modifiers, but as time went on, the bosses had less and less unique modifiers to the point where it was just the character. You're just fighting the character. There's nothing really special about it. But there was something special about it because when the character released, they had a challenge where you could fight the character. Now, the thing to replace that are Fatal Towers. When they add the newest gold into a Fatal Tower, but it doesn't feel the same. I want to fight just that character. I don't want to fight an entire team worth of, whatever that character is. And challenges are also missing another thing. The fact that most of the challenge characters are just kind of mid at best, or at most. And so challenges have been on a repeat loop forever now, just on a cycle. It is something that people are still interested in keeping up with, though, which is nice because the developers don't have to put so much effort in. They can just add some new challenges. And they have been, though. That's the thing. Classic Smoke, Classic Shang, I think Classic Noob too. But yeah, no, they've added a few new challenges. There's nothing unique about the new challenges though. No unique modifiers. I'm just glad it exists though. People are still happy and excited to get the newest gold characters. I think videos going over upcoming challenges and events for characters like Classic Shang Tsung, Classic Noob, and Classic Smoke, and Classic Jade have like roughly 30 to 50k views on my channel, because that's the most interesting challenge videos that people click on. Those are the videos that people are like, oh, this one's special, this one I've been waiting for, which is a good indicator to the developers that they need to focus on doing things like that more often, making unique challenges. It's the last thing that feels like a character event in MK Mobile. To make interesting battles for new characters and unique boss modifiers to actually, I guess, increase difficulty and feel fun to play against, they're going to need to make a new game mode. Here's how I think they should do it. Either do it in towers, make a new tower, but the newest tower has a feature where the, let's say, battles 190 to 200 have unique boss skills, different character movesets. You can just go back to MKX and take different movesets, make a modifier that's actually interesting, not just... Okay, we know that the modifiers they use right now are... they're just annoying. Sandstorm, shielded, so it can only be damaged by basic attacks and special attack 1. I mean, those are kind of alright, but we want to see something physical that comes down. Like in the boss Cold Sonya challenge, Frost would come onto your character and basically cover him. It looked good in MKX, doesn't look good in MK Mobile 2.0. But in MKX, it looked pretty solid, and it slowed your character with a special slow effect. Now, there already is a slow effect in MK Mobile, but the visual representation was the fun part. Make the bosses have some sort of cameo that comes in and does damage for them. You can easily do this by just putting a cameo from MK1 into MK Mobile and have them just run on in and do something like Striker's taser or something visual that catches your eye. That's what we need. Also, why did I do an SP2? They don't take damage from SP2s. Oops. You don't need to introduce a new game mode then. All you need to do is just update old towers with these new unique boss fights. Or what you can also do, theoretically, is to update challenge mode. Now, challenge mode is a tricky one to update because I feel like they just need a new type of challenge. And we did have a new type of challenge back when MK Mobile 2.0 was first released. We had these things called trials, where you could try out the new MK11 characters and unlock them. One copy. Keep in mind that the trials weren't the only way to get those MK11 characters. They also had Elder challenges. But they both vanished from the game files because the developers just simply did not want them to be gold characters anymore. They wanted those MK11s to be diamonds. We're talking about Cabal, Jade, and Raiden. So with that in mind, I do think we just need a new challenge mode with these unique boss fights. And you can just make one per update. One per update is all you need to captivate the players and have give them something to talk about for such a long time. If I would play it safe though, you make this unique modifier, unique cameo thing with a new challenge mode, exclusive to like one challenge and a tower. So repeat an old tower, but add this special cameo that comes in for that tower in the update. And also, when you repeat the tower later on in the future, it'll be more special. People will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that was the tower where Striker came in and tased you. And then a frost effect came down. Blood was raining from the sky, poisoning your character. You know, just little things like that. There's also something else that we desperately need in MK Mobile. And this is something that's going to take some time to work on. Wow, I cannot take this snare anymore. But it's going to be new maps. Oh my god, I cannot tag out. I hate Cabal so much. Yeah, but we need new maps because all these maps are like MKX and MK11, which some of them look really nice. and you can just keep using those. But we need a few MK1 maps. That's all we need, just a few, and we'll be on our merry way. And I also think that something in the map should play out in the game. I mean, this video is MK Mobile dying, but in all reality, I'm giving solutions on ways to revive it, to give it new meaning. What has people driven to MK Onslaught that MK Mobile doesn't have? Because it certainly isn't graphics, and it certainly isn't fighting. It's just an RPG fighting style. And when it comes to, like I said, the fighting aspect itself, because it's an RPG, no. The thing that drives people to Onslaught is obviously the story aspect. The fact that there's a story to go along with, and cutscenes. Now, can MK Mobile realistically do this? And my answer is going to be no. But what you can do is make a title card in quest mode. Update quest mode to actually have something unique to it. Make a picture similar to Onslaught. No, so you don't have to make an entire cutscene where we are looking at characters and having dialogue. You can just make actual pictures when we complete a quest. You can make it for only exclusive quests, so people have a reason to go unlock that exclusive quest rather than just grinding. You can actually see something for that grind, and that's why this game is dying. They're not feeling like they're special, like they're actually grinding. They don't feel like they're being rewarded with something visually. Because yeah, I mean, if you grind your heart out and you get a few diamond characters, that's nice and all, especially if you have like max diamonds by now on your account. It is special. It does feel nice. And you know, you can complete battles much easier, but you don't see anything physically. There's no grand reward or celebration for you actually getting that far into the game. There's not a lot of level requirements or anything special for all the grinding you put in. No teasers, no pictures, no artwork, no text. It's just characters and more boss fights. Okay guys, I think I've went over everything that I need to go over. Really, characters and equipment are pretty much solid. Honestly, equipment is amazing. It's not perfect, of course it's not, but the idea behind it was genius, and I think it can still stand. Maybe they can add a new tier of something to unlock, similar to equipments, because in Onslaught, they have equipments, and then they have relics. So there's obviously a way to add a new type of gear, so to say, to collect in MK Mobile. But yeah, no, and characters, most characters are solid. Obviously, we can have a debate about silver and bronze tier, but I think that's saved for a different video. This video is about MK Mobile and why it is dying, the biggest complaint behind it, and a way to rejuvenate the MK Mobile player base. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say that I'm just speaking into a microphone here. And I'm speaking into a microphone that's faced in front of a brick wall, because Warner Brothers never listens. They never do anything good. But I think that mindset is kind of negative. While it is true that this game can be like vastly improved, I think it's stupid to say that there is no progress being made and that they never do things right. It's always going to be crap. I just don't think it's true. I think us players have to give them a reason to improve the game. There's a few times that we have given them reasons to improve the game because we rewarded them, whether that be financially or player base wise, when they added something unique. When they added a bunch of the new soul packs, views went up significantly, and they even changed the 2 right at the start of the game. These are just on a different scale of better compared to the old packs that we had. So in that regard, the game is getting better. And like I said in my last video, the game's grinding is good. When you grind, you do get a decent amount of stuff. It's the actual grinding that's the problem. It doesn't always have to be fun. It just needs to be engaging. There needs to be something more unique and specialized about the grinding you're doing. Whether that be unique bosses, unique pictures, unique cameos, specific things that really let me know that I am getting somewhere. I am making progress in this game. Soul packs, we'll have another discussion on those another day. And we're going to play one last fight in Classic Tower, which is a great tower, by the way. Great tower. It would have been nice to have some, well, classic cameos in here as well. They could have done that for when it was repeating, right? I won't talk too much about that now, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think I have a good point here? I've always wondered what this game will look like in the future. Because the crypt exists now, I think that there's a good chance the developers will do something more unique than the crypt, more special than the crypt, because they can't just add another type of shop exactly like the crypt. Now that they've done it, it's said and done. They can only improve on it and try to make it better. I will say, the crypt, the problem is definitely the repetitive nature of it. Oh, definitely. The unique bosses would help significantly in the crypt. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a long rant for MK Mobile. I hope that they do something special and unique for the next update. Apparently we're supposed to be blown away. I don't want to be blown. Some people in the comments started saying it could be Fujin, it could be Kung Lao, the way he spins. I feel like we're looking into it a lot more than we should. This doesn't sound like Fujin or Kung Lao. Although, I would not mind a shirtless Fujin from Onslaught in MK Mobile. Wind God Fujin? I want to see my shirtless man. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. And let me just give a big shout out to my YouTube members. We have Christian, Jeremy, Gamer, David, Goku, MK Fire, Warlord, Orion, Owner, Chanigo, Aiden, MK God, Oliver, JD Fur, JDB, Legend Stone, Sammy, Titan Beast, Tolga, Mr. Dragon, Stan Marsh, Tushar, Katana, Plain Punch, Jeff, Fitzmagic, Massive Cool, and Ken. Thank you all for being YouTube members and welcome to the new members. And yeah, peace out.